Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Shealy, and I am here presenting on change within the corporation for our training program. As many of you know, our training program has not been effective. We have been having difficulty with the parts being assembled correctly the first time. So I would like to implement some changes that will require a little bit of patience, but I'm here to present on some key concepts that will help us progress through these changes. The first thing I want to discuss are some of the key concepts, including approaching the change, reasons for resistance to change, and how to reduce the resistance to the change. As the managers, I will need you all to be the backbone to this change. In order for it to be successful, you will need to be there to support your subordinates, but also follow the policies. Burden presented in 2000 saying, innovation is key to keeping a small corporation moving forward. Giving in to fear of change can halt your efforts to build a company. With this, we need to realize that having a training program will further better the corporation in order to make effective, productive products without decreasing the risk of the products being assembled incorrectly. Change is the process that will be scheduled, and we have determined kind of an outline of the schedule, but we would also like to discuss the schedule with you to see if there was any input you could help us provide to a more solid foundation in the schedule. Changes can bring about an increase in clientele, improve policies and procedures, and open more learning experiences for not only yourselves, but also your subordinates. Safelite in 2012 wrote an article reporting that with small changes in its shipping and receiving policies, they were able to greatly increase the accuracy of the shipping process, which ultimately came along to having a more productive corporation. So approaching the change. The first thing is we need to be prepared. Change is coming, and change is the only way for us to continue as a corporation. Know that there will be resistance to change. Your subordinates are going to have fear and not understand the reason for the change. However, it is our jobs to help kind of guide them along. We will discuss some steps in order to be able to identify the reasons for the resistance. Petashnik in 2014 reports, often people are provided with all the information they need for change. However, they are resistant to it. This resistance will cause chaos within the corporation and not allow for its growth. Through knowledge, we can reduce the resistance to the change. When I first started presenting this changing presentation, I started with reasons for resistance, and I kind of switched it around. So the first thing we're going to discuss is how to reduce change. Building trust is going to be our #1 method to reducing the resistance to change. If our subordinates are able to trust us prior to the change, they will be more likely to be accepting of the new changes. The second thing we need to know is we need to communicate openly. We need to provide our subordinates, our employees, with as much information as we possibly can in order to help ease the change. The training program will be scary because a lot of times the subordinates may feel that their job is at jeopardy if they don't do things correctly, and so it is our job as an employer to communicate with them and explain the process and be there to help kind of walk them through. We are going to introduce reasonable changes, and we're going to put it on a schedule. Like I discussed a little bit earlier, we are hoping that you all as managers who are on the floor and see the process are able to help us with this schedule so that we can provide reasonable set goals and little milestones to incorporate this change and hopefully have the change be successful within the next 6 months. And finally, the last thing we need to discuss to help avoid resistance to change is no threatening. We cannot threaten the employees. It will not increase their productivity. It will not increase their communication or their trust with us as an employer. And so it is our job to make sure we are providing a safe place where they can communicate with us and not a threatening atmosphere. So the next thing we're going to discuss is reasons for resistance to change. There are many different reasons, and each employee may have their own. Also, they're going to be discussed through the grapevine, and it is important to keep those lines of communication open. The more that you explain to your employees, the less they will have to talk about in the grapevine, and hopefully will ease the change. So fear of the unknown is the biggest resistance to change. Employees don't know what's going to happen, and it is scary to them. Economics is a huge reason why they would be scared. They worry about their income, if their salary is going to change, and this is where communication comes in, and being honest and open with the employees is going to be our best method here. Skills and expertise will be lost. Employees feel that they want value, and that is understandable. All of us are humans. We need to feel valued, and if we are able to build a trusting relationship with them beforehand, they will continue to feel that value as long as we can communicate with them throughout the changing process. Also, I want to kind of touch on a fear you all may have with this change is that you're going to lose your power as a manager. And I don't want that to be a fear, because we need you all to be the eyes and ears for our corporation. You're on the floor, you see the employees on a daily basis, you understand the process, the nitty-gritty, and like I said before, we want to have you kind of help set the plan, help set the milestones in order for this to be a successful change in the training program. One of the biggest fears, not only for you as managers, I'm sure, but also for the employees, is that there will be an increase in your workload, which can be very inconvenient for everyone. However, we need to have the process down pat. We need to be successful in our process in order for us to be a growing corporation. The more that we can do and multitask, the better it will be, not only for the corporation, but for each individual. And finally, the last point we need to touch on for resistance to change is interpersonal threats. People feel that their social circle within the workplace will change, that employees will be placed in different positions, and that is not our intention at this current time. However, this training program is to help everyone be successful, including the employees on the floor, and we need them to be able to perform well, to perform the tasks in the correct manner, and to be successful so that as a corporation we can be successful. In conclusion, motivation is key. You are the managers, you are the people who will be there, the backbone of the facilities, and we need you to support not only us as a corporation, but to support your employees, to be there to communicate with them and show them that this change, although it may be scary because it is of the unknown, it is to go forward in a positive direction. As we discussed, there are methods we need to use in approaching this change, and it involves knowing why the employees will be resistant to the change, but also knowing methods in which to help ease that resistance. The resistance can come from, like we talked about, income, power, increase in workload. So everyone needs to be prepared for those fears. However, if we build trust and communication with our employees, we will be able to get over this hurdle. I think that this training program will be successful in the end as long as we are able to reach reasonable milestones. And hopefully within the next 6 months, we will have a wonderful training program that will be helpful not only to the current employees, but future employees, and help to kind of establish very needed policies and procedures in order to make our corporation productive the first time and make sure that our products are being put together on a positive and excellent manner. So thank you for attending my session, and I hope everyone has a great day. If you have any questions about change or the process for our training program that's going to occur, we welcome all of your feedback, and we hope to talk to all of you. Thank you. Bye.